started small, tiny things. At first, I thought I was just tired. I'd wake up in the morning, stumble into the bathroom, and as I washed my face, I'd get this weird feeling, like my reflection was just a fraction of a second behind me. Not a lot. Not enough to be obvious. Just enough to make me pause. I chalked it up to grogginess, a trick of the light, whatever, but it got worse. One night I was brushing my teeth, staring at myself in the mirror like usual. My mind was somewhere else, half zoned out when I noticed. I had stopped moving, but my reflection hadn't. It was still brushing, for maybe half a second longer than it should have. And then it stopped, perfectly still, just staring at me. I swear I felt my stomach drop into my feet. I stood there, toothbrush frozen in my hand, staring into my own eyes. My breath felt too loud, the air too thick. Then, as if nothing happened, my reflection moved again, this time perfectly in sync. I actually laughed, a nervous, shaky laugh. What the hell was that? I muttered to myself. Nothing. No weird movement, no delay. I shook my head and finished brushing, convincing myself I'd imagined the whole thing, but I started avoiding mirrors after that. Not completely, just enough. I wouldn't look for too long, wouldn't linger. I started dressing without checking my outfit, stopped making direct eye contact when I passed reflections in windows or car doors. It was like an itch I refused to scratch, because deep down I knew something was wrong, and it was waiting for me to notice. Then last night happened. I was lying in bed, half asleep, when I heard a sound, a faint rhythmic tap, tap, tap. It was coming from the bathroom. I should have ignored it, but I didn't. Dragging myself out of bed, I walked toward the noise, my skin crawling with every step. The hallway was dark, the kind of darkness that felt thick. My pulse pounded in my ears. The bathroom door was slightly open, just a sliver. The tapping continued. I pushed the door wider and froze. My reflection was already waiting for me, standing in the mirror, facing me. Not delayed, not out of sync, just standing there, smiling. I wasn't smiling. My lips were pressed into a tight, terrified line, but it was grinning ear to ear. Then, ever so slowly, so damn deliberately, it raised one hand and tapped the glass. Once, twice, 3 times. Tap, tap, tap. I didn't move. I couldn't breathe. My body refused to listen to me. Then my reflection tilted its head, just slightly, and I heard it, a whisper, from inside the mirror. "Let me out." I ran, slammed my bedroom door shut, crawled under the blankets like a goddamn child because, suddenly, I felt small. I didn't sleep. I don't think I can ever look in a mirror again, because I know what I saw, and I know the next time I look, it won't be me staring back. It happened at the town fair. It was one of those chilly autumn nights, the kind where the cold sneaks under your clothes, but the smell of fried food and popcorn makes up for it. The place was starting to wind down. Most families had already left, leaving behind scattered groups of teenagers and carnival workers packing up their booths. I wasn't in a rush to go home, so I wandered a bit, watching the last few stragglers try their luck at the ring toss. That's when I saw him, my little brother, Adam. He was standing at the far edge of the fairground, right where the lights from the rides didn't quite reach. Just standing there, hands in his hoodie pockets, staring into the dark field beyond the fairgrounds. I frowned. Adam wasn't supposed to be here. He was staying at a friend's house for the weekend, and my parents were out of town running errands. So why was he here? "Adam?" I called. He didn't react. I I walked closer, weaving between scattered pieces of trash and abandoned food trays. "Hey," I nudged his shoulder. "What are you doing out here?" Slowly, he turned to look at me. His face was pale in the dim glow of the streetlights, his expression unreadable. "Come on," I sighed. "I'll take you home." He didn't argue. He just followed. The walk home was off. Adam was quiet. Too quiet. Normally, he talks a lot. Even when he's tired, he fidgets or hums or kicks rocks while he walks. But this time, he was completely silent. At one point, I tried joking around. "What, did you get lost or something?" "Nothing." I glanced at him. His hands were still buried deep in his hoodie pockets, his head slightly bowed. He was walking just a little behind me, his footsteps too light on the pavement. "Did something happen?" I asked. "You okay?" His head twitched slightly, like he was about to nod. But then he just kept walking. That's when I noticed something else. His hoodie. Adam had this dark blue hoodie he always wore. It had a tear in the sleeve from when he fell off his bike last summer. But now, there was no tear. The fabric looked too new. I stared at it for a second, then shook it off. Maybe Mom had bought him a new one. We turned onto our street. Our house was dark, just like I left it. I reached for the keys in my pocket, but something made me pause. I looked back. Adam was standing a few feet behind me, still as a statue. He was staring at the house, or maybe at the door. A weird chill ran up my spine. "Come on," I said, pushing the door open. Adam stepped inside first. And that's when the headlights flooded the driveway. A car pulled in fast, tires crunching on gravel. I frowned, glancing back. It was my parents. That didn't make sense. They weren't supposed to be home yet. The car came to a stop, and before I could say anything, the back door swung open. Adam jumped out. My stomach dropped. He looked confused as he ran up the porch steps, a plastic grocery bag swinging in his hand. My mom was right behind him, her face lighting up when she saw me. "Oh, good, you're home," she said casually. "Could you help bring in the groceries?" I didn't move. Couldn't move. Because the Adam I had walked home with, the one who had been standing beside me just seconds ago, was gone. I turned slowly and looked into the house. The hallway was empty. The door to Adam's room was slightly open, a sliver of darkness peeking through. I swallowed hard. Where did you guys go?" My dad raised an eyebrow. "Just the store." "Why?" I stared at him. "You had Adam with you?" "Yeah," my mom laughed. "Obviously. Why?" I opened my mouth, then closed it. My hands felt numb. My heartbeat was too loud. I looked back at the hallway. The darkness beyond Adam's door suddenly felt heavier, thicker. I could still feel it, the presence of something I had let inside. But my parents, they didn't notice anything. To them, everything was normal. I forced a smile, stepping forward to grab one of the grocery bags. "Nothing," I muttered. "It's nothing," as I locked the front door. I didn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about Adam, the one I'd walked home with, the one who looked off. It didn't make sense.